On March 31st, 2025, Kim Sae-ron, one of South Korea's most celebrated actors, stood behind a podium, tears in his eyes, facing a room packed with cameras. He had scheduled an emergency press conference. No one knew exactly what he would say, only that it had something to do with Kim Sae-ron, the 24-year-old actress who had died by suicide just over a month earlier. When he spoke, the words came fast and carefully. "I did not date her when she was a minor," he said, referring to the allegations that had been spreading online. "We were just an ordinary couple, like anyone else. We had feelings for each other and eventually parted ways." He insisted their relationship began only after she became an adult. He claimed the messages and private images circulating online were falsified or taken out of context, and he apologized, not for what happened, but for staying silent, saying he didn't want the rumors to affect his newly released Netflix series, Queen of Tears. But the press conference didn't settle anything. In fact, it made things worse. Because Kim Sae-ron wasn't just denying accusations, he was taking action. He announced a lawsuit for 12 billion won, over $8 million US, filed against multiple parties, including a controversial YouTube channel and individuals associated with Kim Sae-ron's family. The press conference had been framed as a chance to clear the air. Instead, it raised more questions than ever before. Why had Kim Sae-ron's name resurfaced now after her death? What were the rumors exactly, and where had they started? And why, of all people, was her own family suddenly at the center of one of the most explosive scandals in recent K-end history? To understand that, we need to go back to a career that was once unstoppable, and a downfall that no one saw coming. Kim Sae-ron wasn't just a child star, she was the child star. Her journey began in 2009 at just 9 years old when she started in A Brand New Life, the film that won multiple awards and placed her front and center at Cannes. At that young age, directors called her a prodigy. Audience watched her grow up on screen. She wasn't acting like a child, she was acting like a seasoned veteran, playing roles that demanded maturity and emotional depth. By the time she was 14, her career had skyrocketed. The Man from Nowhere, a dark thriller about a mysterious loner, put her on the map, and A Girl at My Door solidified her as one of Korea's most promising actresses. She was even nominated for Best Actress at the prestigious Baeksang Awards, the youngest ever. By the time she was 20, she had appeared in over 30 films and drama, including A Girl at My Door and Bloodhounds. In an industry obsessed with image, she seemed untouchable until one mistake changed everything. On May 18, 2022, Kim Sae-ron crashed her car into a transformer while driving under the influence. Her blood alcohol level was 0.2% more than double the legal limit for license revocation. The accident knocked out electricity for 57 surrounding business in Gangnam. The media went into a frenzy, social media exploded, and for the first time, the public turned on her. She issued a handwritten apology, stepped down from her Netflix drama trolley, and tried to take accountability. But in Korea, a DUI isn't just a crime. It's a social death sentence, especially for a woman, and especially for someone once seen as innocent. And so the damage was already done. Her name vanished from credits. She lost roles in Trolley, Bloodhounds, and the film Us Every Day, which was never released. Even when Bloodhounds eventually aired in 2023, most of her scenes had been removed. KBS, the national broadcaster, added her to its blacklist, barring her from future appearances due to her conviction. And in December 2022, her agency Gold Medalist let her contract expire, choosing not to renew it. And behind the scenes, her situation was worsening. Her agency at the time, Gold Medalist, initially covered the damages of 20 million won she was fined, but that support didn't last long. She was then handed a bill from her agency of 700 million won, over $481,000 USD, the amount the agency claimed she owed in legal settlements and contract termination penalties due to the DUI scandal. The figure covered damages to brand, production, and her contract termination. Overnight, she had went from rising star to financial liability. Her lawyer would later reveal that she had little savings left. Most of her income had been spent by her parent, either supporting the family or invested into failed businesses. She had no way to repay what she owed. She had nothing left. Kim tried everything she could to make up for it. She sold her car, she began mentoring aspiring actors, and yes, this once prestigious actress, the darling of Korea, had to take on part-time jobs, reportedly working at a cafe. Her agency confirmed the employment, saying she had done so to cover her debts. But when a major coffee chain publicly denied she had worked for them, online commentators turned on her again. They accused her of staging it for pity. Kim responded on Instagram, saying she had only worked as a temporary substitute at a cafe and had also helped a friend manage a pub in Gangnam. Her explanation barely made headlines though. But then a respected journalist, Choi Jung-ha, came forward. She recalled visiting a cafe in Sinsadong and seeing Kim working there in person. Moved by how diligently Kim had worked, Choi left her a note of support. Kim said she read it and cried. But even that didn't stop the ridicule. She became a walking punchline. Memes mocked her debt. Her face was splashed across forums as a cautionary tale. Online comments didn't just attack her, they humiliated her and reveled in it. In March 2024, nearly a year after vanishing from the public eye, Kim Sae-ron resurfaced in a way no one expected. She posted a photo to Instagram, a close-up cheek-to-cheek selfie with Kim Soo Hyun. Both were smiling. It was casual, intimate, familiar. The post stayed up for only a few minutes before it disappeared, but the internet had already seen it. Speculations ignited. Was this confirmation of a relationship, a quiet confession, or simply a slip? Gold medalist Kim Soo Hyun's agency responded within hours. Rumors about dating Kim Soo Hyun are not true, they said. The picture seems to be taken when the two actors were signed with the same agency. We have no knowledge of Kim Sae-ron's intention behind uploading the picture, but they didn't stop there. We will take strong measures against any derogatory or malicious content that defames the actor's personal rights. Kim Sae-ron did not issue a statement. She didn't explain or defend herself. She simply deleted the photo and disappeared again. To the public, it was strange, even confusing, but easy to dismiss. But later on, this quiet moment would be seen very differently, when it took on a new and far more tragic meaning. Later on in 2024, she also attempted a low-key return to the stage through a small theater production called Dongchimi. But days before the opening, she withdrew from the project, citing health reasons. It would be her final public step forward. Then, on February 16, 2025, Kim Sae-ron was found dead in her apartment. She had missed a scheduled meeting. A friend went to check in on her and discovered her body. There was no note, no evidence of foul play, just silence. She was 24. For a brief moment, South Korea grieved. But even then, the public couldn't agree on what to feel. Some saw a tragic loss, others saw consequences. One comment simply read, "In this country, you don't survive a scandal, you disappear." What no one knew was that Kim Sae-ron's name wasn't done making headlines, because in death, she wouldn't be remembered for her roles, but for a scandal she couldn't defend herself against. The shock of Kim Sae-ron's death had barely settled before it ignited a firestorm. In mid-March 2025, her grieving family stepped before cameras to make an explosive allegation, turning their pain into a public crusade. Accompanied by lawyers and activists, they revealed what they claimed was proof that Kim Sae-ron had been in a secret relationship with actor Kim Soo Hyun since she was a young teen. A woman identifying herself as Kim's aunt tearfully alleged that the actress began dating the superstar in 2015, when Sae-ron was just 15 and Kim Soo Hyun was 27, and that their clandestine relationship lasted for 6 years. To substantiate this, the family's attorney presented recovered Kakao Talks chats from June 2016 showing intensely intimate exchanges between the two. In one message, a 20-year-old Kim Soo Hyun writes to the 16-year-old Kim Sae-ron, "When can I sleep while hugging you? Then I think I could really sleep well." She replies tenderly, "Yes, I'll allow that," punctuated with a black hug emoji. Other chats are similarly affectionate, talk of kisses and longing, painting a picture of a romance that began well before Sae-ron reached adulthood. The family did not stop at text messages. They disclosed a heartbreaking handwritten letter Kim Sae-ron wrote to Kim Soo Hyun in 2024, a letter that had remained unsent. In it, Sae-ron apologizes for that Instagram photo incident from the previous year when she had suddenly posted, then quickly deleted, a cozy selfie of herself cheek to cheek with Kim Soo Hyun. At the press conference, the aunt explained that Sae-ron posted that photo out of desperation. The unpublished Instagram caption she drafted, revealed now by her family, claimed the photo was actually taken in 2016, and that she and Kim Soo Hyun had dated from November 19, 2015 to July 7, 2021. In her letter, Sae-ron wrote, "I couldn't reach anyone at the company and was scared of lawsuits. I posted the photo hoping to get in touch with the company. I'm sorry for causing harm. I'm terrified and uncomfortable with the people at Gold Medalist." The fear in her words is palpable. She described feeling abandoned and pleaded directly to Kim Soo Hyun. "We were together for 5 to 6 years. You were my first and last love. Let's get along well. Can we at least be supportive of each other?" By making this letter public, the family exposed the dire isolation and anxiety Kim Sae-ron felt in her final year. Terrified of her former agency, yearning for a lifeline from the man she loved, and met with only silence. In the days after the family's press conference, things escalated further. The controversial YouTube channel Garosero Institute, also known as Hololive, released several sets of alleged photos and messages between Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Sae-ron at different intervals. These alleged photos Kim Soo Hyun had reportedly sent to Kim Sae-ron during his military enlistment, including selfies in uniform, images of medical treatment, and even a photo of him kissing her on the cheek. The most shocking was a semi-nude photo of Kim Soo Hyun reportedly taken at Kim Sae-ron's home, showing him washing dishes without pants on. Garosero claimed that was not secretly taken, but that he had posed knowingly for the photo, reinforcing the idea of an intimate relationship. The leak reignited online outrage and further blurred the line between private moments and public scandal. These photos, of course, were framed as evidence that their relationship began well before she became an adult. They also revealed that Kim Sae-ron had joined Kim Soo Hyun's agency Gold Medalist in 2020 at his recommendation. But after her DUI scandal, the agency cut ties with her and demanded she repay a 700 million won debt for damages. In text messages recovered from her phone, Sae-ron had begged Kim Soo Hyun for more time to pay back that staggering sum, but he never responded. "Oppa, it's Sae-ron. I got a legal notice. Are you really suing me? You said you'd give me enough time, so I've been working hard to make a comeback. I was planning to pay it back little by little with every project. It's not that I won't pay, I just can't come up with 700 million won all at once. It's not that I refuse to, I literally can't. Does it really have to go to court? Please, just give me some time. I'm begging you, let me live." To Sae-ron's family, these details were damning. They depict a young woman who was emotionally entangled with a powerful older star, then cast aside and pressured until she broke. The revelations landed like a bomb in the media. The quote-unquote perfect guy of Korean entertainment was now accused of years-long secret affair with a minor, tantamount to grooming in the court of public opinion. Online outrage erupted. Within hours, clips of the family's press conference and snippets of the leaked chat swept across YouTube and social media. The tragedy of Kim Sae-ron's death now morphed into a frenzy of speculation. Had Korea's top actor driven her to suicide? Was this a cover-up that the industry helped bury? The leaked photo from 2024 took on a new significance. What many had initially dismissed as a stunt or mistake by a troubled star now looked more like a cry for help. Now that flat denial seemed suspect, it appeared that Sae-ron may have tried to go public with their relationship back then, only to be silenced. Facing a mounting storm, gold medalist Kim Soo Hyun quickly went into damage control mode. The entertainment company, which had once proudly signed Kim Sae-ron but swiftly dropped her after her DUI in late 2022, now stood accused of forsaking her when she needed help most. On March 18, gold medalist issued a lengthy rebuttal to the family's claim. They acknowledged that both Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Sae-ron had been under their roof but strongly denied any underage romance or misconduct on the company's part. In their official statement, gold medalists refuted the story point by point, dismissing it as unfounded and false. They shared their own evidence, certified letters, timelines, and logs of communication with Kim Sae-ron. The company insisted they never demanded she pay for drama losses or restricted her from speaking to other actors, contrary to what the family implied. Yes, they had sent formal notices, but according to gold medalist, these were simply to remind her of the repayment plan, not to blackmail or threaten her. It was a procedural step, they insisted, not a demand. Gold medalist also denied any attempt to silence her, claiming, quote, "It is impossible to file a claim for damages simply because someone uploads a photo or communicates with actors from the same agency." It was just business, their tone implied, but this cold, legalistic response did little to sway public sympathy. If anything, gold medalists' focus on loans, contracts, and damage control only reinforced the image of an industry that treated Kim Sae-ron as a liability to be managed, rather than a person to be protected. The family's portrayal of Kim's final year, hounded by debt collectors and ignored by those who once profited from her, cast a long shadow over the agency's words. For 2 weeks, as accusation and denials flew, Kim Soo Hyun himself remained silent. The public watched his social media and press releases for any personal response. None came. Each day, though, fresh rumors and commentary flooded the internet. Netizens split into 2 camps. Some defended the actors, saying the evidence wasn't conclusive, but many others, especially international fans, grew critical. Within Kim Sae-ron's fan communities, outrage simmered. The idea that the bright teenager they had supported might have been manipulated and discarded left them furious. She was 16, he was 28. Let that sink in, one commenter posted. Every new leak added fuel to the fire. His silence is loud, one Twitter user wrote. Finally, on March 31, 2025, Kim Soo Hyun could stay silent no longer. He called an emergency press conference in Seoul that day, a highly anticipated event broadcasted live on multiple networks. Dozens of reporters packed the hall, cameras trained on the 37-year-old actor who had largely vanished from public view since the scandal broke. When Kim Soo Hyun emerged, he cut a somber figure, dressed in a black suit, visibly trembling, eyes already red-rimmed with emotion. Tears streamed down his face as he bowed in greeting. For a long moment, he couldn't even speak. The room hung breathless on the verge of chaos. The superstar, the alleged villain of this tragic tale, was about to speak at last. What followed was a 45-minute statement that was part apology, part explanation, part vehement denial. Kim Soo Hyun openly wept as he addressed the nation. "I did not date the deceased when she was a minor," he said firmly, voice cracking at the mention of Kim Sae-ron's. He claimed a controversial relationship did exist, but that, apart from the fact that they were both actors, we were just an ordinary couple like anyone else.
눈물의 여왕 방영 당시에 고인이 저와 함께 찍은 사진을 올렸을 때도 그랬습니다. 저와 고인은 5년 전 눈물의 여왕이 방영되기 4년 전에 1년여 정도 교제를 했습니다. 하지만 그때 저는 교제 사실을 부인했습니다. 저의 이런 선택을 비판하시는 건 당연하다고 생각합니다. 지금 저와 고인 사이의 일들에 대해 제가 말하는 것들을 믿지 못하겠다고 하셔도 이해가 됩니다. 그렇지만 제가 이 자리에서 이렇게 말씀드릴 수 있는 기회는 단 한 번뿐이니까 한 번만 제 얘기를 들어주시면 정말 감사하겠습니다.
According to Kim, they had only begun dating in 2019, 5 years ago for about a year, when Sae-ron was 19 and legally an adult. We had feelings for each other, and as time passed, we eventually parted ways, he recounted haltingly. After that, we rarely kept in touch. He categorically denied ever pursuing her as a minor or grooming her, calling such accusations impossible to admit because they are not true. He admitted to being selfish, even cowardly, acknowledging he had stayed silent out of fear that the controversy would ruin his Netflix series Queen of Tears.
눈물의 여왕이 방영되고 있을 때도 주연 배우로서 지켜야 할 것들이 참 많았습니다. 그때 만약 몇 년 전에 사귀었던 사람과의 관계를 인정한다면 무슨 일이 벌어질까? 나와 함께 연기하는 배우들, 현장에서 밤을 지새우는 모든 스태프분들, 이 작품에 모든 것을 걸고 있는 제작사, 그리고 우리 회사 식구분들 다 어떻게 되는 걸까? 이렇게 인간 김수현과 스타 김수현의 선택이 엇갈릴 때마다 저는 늘 스타 김수현으로서의 선택을 해왔던 것 같습니다. 그래서 사실 매일 두려웠습니다. 제가 스타 김수현이기 때문에 지키기 위해 선택한 모든 것들이 나에게 도구로 돌아오면 어떡할까? 모든 것이 두려웠습니다. 하지만 만약 다시 눈물의 여왕이 방영 중이던 때로 돌아간다고 해도 저는 다시 그 선택을 할 것입니다. 할 수밖에 없습니다. 내 마음 하나 편하자고 그 결정을 내 마음대로 할 수 있을까? 아무리 생각해봐도 저는 그렇게 하면 안 될 것 같습니다. 그게 지금 김수현이라는 인생을 선택한 사람이 져야 할 책임이라고 생각했습니다. 이런 선택을 비겁하다거나 이기적이라고 비판하신다면 얼마든지 받겠습니다. 그리고 저를 아껴주신 모든 분들에게도 사과드립니다.
He also addressed the now infamous Kakao Talks messages that had circulated online, the ones used to frame him as a grooming predator. Kim insisted they were fabricated, or at the very least, manipulated. There are too many things that don't add up, he said. Messages getting her agency name wrong, getting our age gap wrong, even claiming she had roles in the company she never had. Then came the most unexpected part. To prove his innocence, Kim announced that he had hired a forensic linguistic analysis team, experts who analyze writing style, and submitted both his recent chats and the leaked messages from 2016 and 2018. Their conclusion? According to him, the writing styles didn't match. The people in those old messages were different. If their evidence is real, let them submit it to law enforcement, he said. I already did. The announcement sparked immediate confusion and mockery online. Critics questioned why a grieving family's claim were being countered with stylometric analysis of teenage text messages. It felt surreal. When it came to Kim Sae-ron's tragic end, he spoke softly but resolutely. It is also not true that she made a tragic choice because of me turning a blind eye, refuting the notion that his abandonment pushed her to suicide.
제가 아무리 연예인으로서 가면을 쓰고 사는 김수현일지라도 그것만은 할 수 없습니다. 제가 한 일은 한 것입니다. 그에 대해서는 어떤 비난도 다 받을 수 있습니다. 하지만 하지 않은 것은 하지 않은 것입니다. 지금도 저를 믿어주시는 모든 분들을 위해서 그것만큼은 밝히고 싶습니다. 저를 믿어달라고 하지 않겠습니다. 꼭 증명하도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
It was an emotional and in many ways shocking mea culpa. Not for the core allegations, which he still insisted was false, but for his silence and selfishness when Kim Sae-ron was alive and suffering. But then came a dramatic turn. As his statement concluded, Kim's legal team stepped up to the podium, and his lawyer announced that Kim Soo Hyun had already filed a civil and criminal lawsuit against the parties involved in the allegations. The targets? Kim Sae-ron's bereaved family, her alleged aunt, and the operator of the Garosero Institute YouTube channel. The lawsuit claimed defamation and illegal distribution of private images and demanded 12 billion Korean won in damages, which is approximately $8 million USD. We have decided to file a criminal complaint and civil suit against those responsible for these unfounded claims, his lawyer declared. The press conference wasn't just damage control anymore, it was a declaration of war. Yet, for all his tears and apology, Kim Soo Hyun's press conference was also an exercise in tight control. He spoke from a prepared script on a podium, flanked by attorneys. No reporters were allowed to ask questions during or after a ground rule announced in advance. The media was there to listen, not interrogate. This one-sided format, while not unheard of in sensitive scandals, struck many as stage-managed, and it would come back to haunt him just minutes later. Kim concluded his statement with a deep bow, tears still glistening on his face, and an expression of hope that truth will come out. But then, as the event staff prepared to wrap up, a lone female reporter in the audience suddenly broke protocol. Raising her voice above the murmurs, she shouted the question that cut at the heart of everything. Kim Soo Hyun, can you tell us when and where you first met Kim Sae-ron? Please, just tell us that. The room fell dead silent. This was it. If he answered truthfully and the date aligned with her being underage, it would undermine his entire defense. Cameras flashed, reporters leaned forward, but he simply turned away. In full view of the press, he ignored the question, kept his head down, and stepped off the stage as his lawyers gently ushered him out, patting his back. He walked out of the room without a word, leaving the question and the country hanging. This image of Kim Soo Hyun walking away, eyes downcast, fists clenched, avoiding that crucial question, flashed across the internet within minutes. If the goal of the press conference had been to douse the flames, it may have done the opposite. The video clip of the reporter's bold inquiry and Kim's wordless exit went viral, becoming the defining snapshot of the day. Many viewers applauded the reporter's courage. She had dared to ask what millions were wondering, even when the event explicitly forbade questions. Online commentators hailed her as a hero. Hats off to the reporter for asking the question, even when questions were not allowed, one tweet read, garnering thousands of likes. But for Kim Soo Hyun, the backlash was instant. His tears and scripted apologies were one thing, but his refusal to answer a simple factual question, to many, that was far more telling. Him just leaving like that is just so funny, cause why did you even hold a press conference? And somebody else replying, because he would have to admit this is how they met. On forums and Twitter, hashtags like #FakeTears and #KingOfTears exploded, a mocking pun on the title of his recent hit drama Queen of Tears. The consensus among skeptics was clear: Kim Soo Hyun was acting. Wait, was Kim Soo Hyun always this bad at acting? One user wrote. Others were harsher, furious not just at what he said, but what he had implied. 1. Kim Soo Hyun brought up Kim Sae-ron's DUI to remind Korea that they hate her. So why are they doing this to him? 2. Lie about another man to paint her as a slut to the public. So what if he dated her? Everyone else did. He is an egomaniac narcissist that thinks nobody can judge him. Indeed, Kim Soo Hyun had brought out Kim Sae-ron's 2022 DUI during the statement, emphasizing it as one of the reasons their relationship could not continue. To many, it felt calculated. Not only was he denying any wrongdoing, he was subtly recasting her as a reckless, unstable, or worse. His cold language didn't help. Throughout the entire press conference, Kim never once referred to her by name, only as the deceased. The outrage was immediate. To the public, it wasn't just a legal retaliation. It felt like punishment. Many saw the lawsuit as a cruel escalation, an attempt to silence the grieving rather than answer them. Why sue a grieving family? Why drag the people who just buried their daughter into court? Comment sections boiled with anger. Every word, every tear from the press conference was picked apart. The damage control had backfired. That same day, on March 31st, a new petition appeared on South Korea's National Assembly website. It was titled the Kim Soo Hyun's Prevention Act. The petition demanded stricter laws to prevent adults from engaging in relationships with minors. Specifically, it called for raising the statutory age of consent from 16 to 19, citing Kim's case as a textbook example of the legal gray zone. The law as it stands lets predator evade punishment, the petitioner wrote. To stop this from happening again, I urge a revision of the law under the name of the Kim Soo Hyun Prevention Act. The response was staggering. Within just 24 hours, over 20,000 citizens had signed the petition, and the number continued to climb. Meanwhile, the fallout beyond the internet was swift and far-reaching. Within days, Kim Soo Hyun's sparkling career was in freefall. The luxury brands that once proudly endorsed him had already distanced themselves when the initial controversy dropped. Prada and cosmetics label Dindo, among others, ended their partnership with Kim in the weeks after the scandal broke. A Korean news outlet noted grimly that not even the nation's top paid actor was immune to scandal. Advertisers were dropping him en masse to protect their own images, making him lose his prestigious title of Korea's highest paid actor. And Kim's agency, gold medalist itself, was reportedly feeling the squeeze, with rumors of financial strain and even staff layoff as their biggest asset's reputation faltered, with articles now speculating that they're close to going bankrupt, especially after reports came out saying they had to suspend their cleaning staff, adding more fuel to the rumors that the agency is falling apart. In a matter of weeks, Kim Sae-ron's quiet tragedy had erupted in a national reckoning. 2 lives and reputations lay in tatters. Kim Sae-ron, once lauded as a prodigy, was gone, but now her name was on everyone's lips as the symbol of a system that failed its young stars. And Kim Soo Hyun, the beloved good guy of K-drama, found himself recast as a national villain, his every tear and words scrutinized and doubted. As the dust settled from the initial explosion of allegations and denials, one thing was clear: no one would emerge unscathed. Not the grieving family, now bracing for a legal war, not the agency, already known for its ruthless pragmatism, and certainly not Kim Soo Hyun, who now stood on the brink of losing everything. The cold machinery of show business had already chewed up one young life, and now it seemed it was ready to swallow another. And this time, the whole country was watching. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video touches on a wider topic than I usually cover, but it's always been part of my vision for the channel to explore stories like this. If you'd like to support the channel and help me keep making high quality content, subscribe. We are getting so close to reaching our 100,000 subscriber milestone, and if you want to support even further, consider a membership. Your name will be featured in the credits of my next video. And if you want to go a step even further, you can check out my Patreon link below. I just launched a new anime reaction series. We're starting watching Free Ren, and you can join me for as little as $3 a month. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. It is also not true that she made a tragic show. It is also not true that she made a tragic show from a prepared script on a podium, flanked by attorneys. No reporters were allowed. But then, as the event staff, the outrage was immediate. Immediate? The outrage was immediate. We are getting so close to reaching our 100,000. Wait, what is this number? Our 100,000 subscriber milestone. Yeah, we are getting so close to reaching our 100. And if you want to go even.